What is going on, guys? This is Mr. DanCan18 again, coming at you with another how-to video for Farming Simulator 2013. And if you can already know what I'm looking at here, we're going to talk about dairy farming and how to maximize the productivity of your cows so you can sell as much milk as possible for a profit. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about the equipment needed to make that happen. And it is a lot of equipment, so we'll go through it all. And here it is, guys. This is the kit I use for the dairy farm. Now, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you have some of the obvious things, such as a trailer and a tractor to pull that trailer and a harvester and such, because you will need those to make this happen. That's one of the things I like about the dairy farm, is you kind of have to almost have everything else going in the game in order to make this happen in an efficient manner. But we'll get to all that later. So what we're going to do is talk about all that we need for the dairy farm specifically. Okay, the first thing I'm going to show you here is this tractor. Now, this is my favorite thing in the game. It's a bit of a Swiss Army knife when it comes to this game, because it can do a little bit of everything and does it well. It's the Deutz AgroFarm 430 with the front loader with the bell fork there. It has all the attachments you need. It can hook to just about anything in the game, and as you'll see later. Okay, the next thing is for the mixed ration. This is expensive, but it is well worth it, because what we're going to do is, and I'll demonstrate that later, is drop a bale of hay in the hopper up there, drop a bale of straw in there, and then fill the rest up with silage to make mixed ration, because that's what the cows appreciate the most. That in itself gets them to 100% productivity, that we'll talk about later. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is a seeder, and this is just to plant grass in this field next to the dairy farm, which I'll show you right now. We go ahead and buy number 35 here. It's right next to the dairy farm. It is the most convenient. It's right over there. And the reason I got the smallest and the cheapest is because you only have to plant once, obviously, because when you cut grass, it grows back on its own. And to cut that grass, you use the mowers here. That is the Kuhn P2 front and rear sets. That one hooks to the front of our tractor over there, and that hooks to the back, and it cuts a wide row in the grass. Very convenient and fast. The next things are the tedder and the windrower. The tedder stirs it up, makes it, turns it into hay, and the windrower puts it in a nice row for us so our baler can pick it up. The tedder here, I'm going to screw up the pronunciation, but it's the Pottinger Eurohit. Both of these are sort of medium-sized or the smallest in the game, because that field over there is small and you don't really need anything very big. Okay, the windrower here is the Kuhn GA 8521. Okay. Alright, so the baler. I use this big jack here. It's the Kuhn Big Pack, a square baler. It's just straightforward. Alright, these are a couple of the optional things. The trailer here, you can run around on the field after you've baled hay or straw and pick it up with the bell fork there, but I'm lazy, and this will pick them up. I think it's 20. I think it holds 20 bales at once, and the beauty part is this little attachment right here, once it's turned on, will pick up the bales automatically. You don't have to put it on a trailer. Now, there are cheaper bale trailers you can use, but you have to use the bell fork to put them on there, and I'm lazy, so I use this. Okay, and then the Profi hopper. The Profi hopper you can use to cut that grass. It would take forever. That's why I use the attachments there. But you can use them. And for the silage that we're going to make, you actually can use grass, but you have to get that silo over there to at least 10% full. And to do it with that would take a while. So I use corn or chaff from that corn to make the silage. I have another video where I demonstrate how to do that I'll link in the description, or you can click on the screen right there where I've put it, and then you can watch that video and see how to do that. But what we'll do now is we'll move on to the next step, which is making that silage. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you either watched my other video on how to get this chaff into my trailer here using the corn, or that you already knew how to do that. So I'm just bringing a 3/4 load here over here to this silo that we are going to turn into silage that we're going to use for the mixed ration. Let's see. Get in here. Come on. There we go. Get it in here. Almost drove out. Okay. Alright, and what I like to do is drop the trailer and just use the tractor to compact the... Come on. There we go. To compact the chaff so that we can cover it and firm it. Whoa! There we go. That front weight on there is so heavy it makes it awkward. There we go. 30%. Back up. Halfway there. Come on. Alright, 100%. We'll back it up and get it out of the way here. Jump out. And R2 cover. Alright. Get out of there. I was stuck. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is move on over to baling some straw. Harvesting wheat or barley, it leaves this perfect little line of straw behind the harvester here. All you have to do is simply drive right over the top with your baler, with it on of course, and it will bale the straw for you and poop it out the back there. And then you will simply drive right over the top with your baler, with it on of course, and it will bale the straw for you and poop it out the back there. And then you will just drive around with your handy dandy baler picker upper here and pick up the bales of straw, and then we'll drive them over to our dairy farm. Oh, I thought I kicked it too far away. The bale fork, got it. Get off of there. There we go. Alright. Now like I said, there are cheaper ways to do this. You can just use a standard bale trailer, and you can use the front fork there and load them up and then drive them over there. Or you can simply, you can just skip the trailer and just drive them over there one at a time, but I do not recommend that. But what I'll do is I'll drive this over to the dairy farm, and then after that we will cut some grass and make some hay. Okay, like I said earlier in the video, I have already planted grass here on this field, so I'm just going to go ahead and assume that you guys know how to do that. I'm sure you do. So the next step is to cut the grass. So what we'll do is we'll get this going. Let's turn on the mower. Get to the front. Turn that one on. Cruise control 2. And we go. And you can see how much wider. And this is a huge swath of grass. This is a pretty quick job. So the next thing we'll do is we will run the tedder over this to turn it into hay, and I'll see you then. And like I said, next here is the tedder, and it turns it into hay like you see, but it's in these wide rows, and the baler can't pick that up. Well, it can, it just would, you'd have to drive over every inch of this field. So to put it in a nice row for us, what we'll do is use the windrower. And here we go. Here's the windrower, and it just puts it in nice rows for us so that we can pick it up with the baler. And speaking of the baler, I'm not going to show that on camera because I've already showed how to pick up the straw, which is the same process, of course, using the baler and then the trailer. So, speaking of the baler, in case you're wondering, it does have straw in it right now, but that's okay. It'll just begin doing hay bales and drop those out. It will drop a couple of straw bales out though first, and then after this what I'll show you is the mixed ration portion. because we'll have everything we need. The silage, I'm sure, is done over there, and then we'll have hay bales and we'll have straw bales. Okay, the silage is done, so let's make some mixed ration. Go over here to the front loader, jump in, and let's see if I can not embarrass myself. Just takes some getting used to if you've never used it. See if I can get it that way. Get a straw bale. Whoa, first. There we go. We drop it over into our mixer. The trick to this is just to get the bale to touch down inside a bit. I'll show you. There we go. Okay. Let's get a hay bale. Back it up. Line it up. There we go. Pick it up. Alright, wasn't so bad. Probably should hush. Not finished yet. This thing flips over really easy when you've got the bale in the air there. But I've done it 1,000 times and you do just flip right back over, so don't stress if you do. A little bit. Come on, and there we go. Back this guy out of the way, put the fork down, jump out, get in the mixer. Okay, and you see your percentages up there. We've got enough hay already, we've got enough straw as far as ratio goes. We've actually got more than enough straw, but that's okay because once I start picking up the silage, it'll bring it down. Alright, so we hit B to turn it on, drive on in. And we wait till the ratios hit the correct, everything turns green, and then you can hit B and stop it. And there you have it. There is your mixed ration. We will drive it over and feed it to our moo cows that we have. I actually already have 100. This is the point after dumping this in, if you haven't bought any, I would buy some, because the mixed ration gets them to 100% productivity. Dumps it in. Now, get in there. Let me show you on the statistics here. Get to the cows. You see it says feeding through mixed ration. It's got, you know, over 11,000. Let's jump out so we don't have to hear that. You can feed through silage directly. You can feed through grass, and you can put straw in there also. Straw for the bedding. They eat the silage and the grass only after they have run out of mixed ration. You can put it in there. You can use the Profi hopper that I talked about at the beginning of the video to, you know, cut some grass and then dump it in there. And then you actually can just use the same process I used, but only put straw in the mix, you know, straw bales in the mixer and then dump the straw in there. Or you can use, oh, and here's where you buy the cows. Just, you know, jump in there and buy the cows. Let's go back to my owned items. If you're wanting to put a lot of straw in there, now, like I said, I have 100 head of cattle, so it takes more mixed ration, more of everything, actually. So if I wanted to just put a bunch of straw in there for the bedding, I can use this piece of equipment here. It picks up the straw just like the baler does, except it doesn't bale it. So you can, you know, run along behind, you know, a tractor and pick up all the straw you want and then come back to here and dump it in. It's that simple. I wasn't going to show you that because it's pretty self-explanatory. But the great part, you may have noticed that next to the silo was a large pile of what is manure, actually. You can use that with a bucket attachment again for our Swiss Army knife of a tractor. You use that bucket to pick up some manure, and you can use it to dump into these placeable objects, the greenhouses. Okay. All right. Now from then, you just wait on the milkman to come around and pick up the milk you have produced from your cows, and you make money from that. And it's that simple. Oh, and it also makes liquid manure, my bad. And you can use that to spread on your fields as fertilizer. So if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments. If I've forgotten something, or if you think I've done something incorrectly or could have done it better, just leave it in the comments and I can learn from it myself. But I appreciate you watching. Thanks, guys.